Instead of record all the way through again.
Blog Talk Radio.
I know. Welcome to Lady and the Gent. We had a mad screen. It's weird how that first the half hour before we go on the air seems to go like this.
And then the last few seconds.
We get in here from both of our jobs and we do our thing and eat together and make our notes and talk about the show, and then it seems like all of a sudden we're on the air. We're like, we forgot a million things.
Well, I still have my work laptop right next to me.
It's off to the side. I don't know if you don't see the glow of the stressful glow of a work laptop to his other side there. But welcome back to our show. We were off last week, but we're here now. We've got our hour show, like the professionals do, the big folk. But I just want to go and just say happy early birthday to you.
Yay! Thank you.
His 21st.
For the how many times? No, I like 23 better. 23? Remember, it's always 23.
Okay, it's always 23. His whole face hangs on these cheekbones.
Yes.
His 23rd again will be on Saturday, so send your love.
No, I'm very happy to be turning 36.
Me too.
Yes. Well, you're turning 35.
35. So. I like the 30s.
35, yeah.
20s were crazy for me, and I was a little goofball up here.
We're all supposed to be crazy in our 20s.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's how it goes, but did you have a good week? Anything?
No, I was sick the whole time.
I was going to do a little let's be positive messages.
Yes.
But you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
And I hosted my work's travel expo this past Sunday, at New Jersey Convention Center, and
working 9 to 5.
It was pretty cool in the way that people from work were like, "I like your voice, you're doing a great job." Higher ups, all the way to the folks that just know me and my buddies, and then strangers were coming up to me, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah,
they would go, "I like your voice," and they walk away, and I was like, "Thanks, it's kind of weird and kind of cool." So it was like a long day, but a positive experience. Yes. So that's a good thing. And speaking of positive experiences, back in the beginning, the first show, we really touched on our changes that would happen to us and relationships. I happily announced I was in one. Your very good friend called in.
Yes.
And after all her time and hardship, she found a great guy, and she's really happy too.
Yes.
And we started talking about that, and then we had our Valentine's Day episode where we talked more about kind of keeping a relationship together and what you want to do to how to be in one, and it does take some time and effort like anything.
And how I've given up, but
maybe after this. Maybe after this interview and this discussion with our new pal, I'm hoping, and read the books. You got the books. Read the book. The book is called
Love Made Easy.
You can get it on Amazon. And we want to say
I have it on my Kindle.
Or you could if you're so.
I'll show you
If you're we should pull up the cover because now we're all visual. If you're totally technically
I don't think Charlie knows that we actually streamed this live too. Maybe we should have informed him that we have visual aids. So
we do have visual aids, which is really cool. Exactly. Until we have a little until we have somebody working the switcher and a technical director putting up stuff on the screen, we can do it for ourselves.
There you go.
You see, it's a little glary. Let's see if we hold it back.
Glaracious.
Oh, Charlie, sorry, because you look super cute on it, too. All right. It's a little made easy. We're sorry it doesn't translate from Kindle to the video screen. You can get that on Amazon. It's Charlie the Matchmaker, charliethematchmaker.com to visit him.
Yes, he's also on Facebook as Charlie the Matchmaker.
Like him on Facebook.
Oh, I wanted to mention, Lady and the Gent, the show that that's making me figure out our friends don't know how to use the internet. Oh. I told someone about the show today, and I told them how much I post about it on Facebook. She's like, "Oh, I never see it." I'm like, but just see the 1,000,001 other things I post.
We do post it a lot on Facebook, and I do feel like it is very, it's a big old visual thing. If you guys want to call in and talk to Charlie, we're going to have him in like just a second. The number is 877-296-0345. There may be a little problem with it. The host before us was saying it was a little dodgy, so there's a second number if that one isn't working for you. 917-889-3818. And I'm just going to text that to my darling boyfriend who just asked what the number was to call in. And if he's not, up listening right now, I'm going to tell him that, oh, wait, he just wrote it back to me. Okay. Perfect. But anyway, we're ready to meet Charlie.
Yes.
I know you guys are too, and we definitely want people to call in. And if you're single and looking for someone and you want to ask a question, or if you're in a relationship, because I know it's important for him to kind of not only help people meet people, but help people maintain. That's the biggest thing. So Charlie, come on in. Hello?
Come on.
Hi!
Hey.
Welcome officially.
How are you?
Welcome officially on the airwaves with us.
Good. How you doing? As Miss Wendy would say.
Exactly.
How you doing?
Yes.
How you doing?
Yay! I know you know her. All right, awesome.
Thanks so much for having me on the show, guys.
Oh no, we're excited for it too, and I know my dear best friend over here is
I'm trying to fix a technical issue.
is kind of, besides fixing a technical issue, is kind of in like, I'd say like a treading water kind of pattern of should I or shouldn't I?
A malaise.
Yeah, I was kind of.
I heard something about giving up.
Yes, see, I know, and I just we
Happy
don't
Valentine's Day
yeah,
to me.
we don't like that word, do we, Charlie?
Because I was going to say, after I read your book, I was resisting it to no end, like all the advice in it.
But I think that means if he was resisting it, you were making an impact
Yes.
on him.
Exactly, and that's what part of it's all about, is, asking the questions to yourself that you might not like the answers to.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. In this day and age, so many people have made their world into a little bubble, and not only does that bubble protect them from the harsh realities of the world, but unfortunately many times it protects them from the harsh realities of self-criticism and looking deep within their souls, kind of thing.
That's a great point. And I'm not, joking around saying, oh, only Alex over here, because I was very guilty of that too as well. I fell into a very great situation of like a wacky happenstance of really quickly how I met my boyfriend was I was set up on a blind date with a friend of his. He was there as being a pal and supportive, and his friend, I was like, bleh, didn't work at all. And I just became buddies with him because he wasn't even available at the time. And then, we stayed in contact. He became single. We just started to hang out as friends and have fun. And then something happened. But if you told me during that crazy blind date with his friend who I was not into that he was going to be the one I was going to be with, I'd be like, what? How? But it was like a wacky sitcom thing. Yeah, and again, it was one of those, never expected it, never even crossed my mind that that's how the situation would end. But, I'm super happy.
What you're describing is what I've termed the ripple effect.
Ah, nice.
When you meet somebody and there's not a spark, people make the mistake of walking away from that person.
That's a really good point.
Not having anything to do with them. But if there was an interest in them to begin with, the question that I put out to people is, why not maintain a friendship with that person?
Yeah.
And then you will get to know their friends, and their friends will introduce you to their friends, and that's where the ripple effect comes in.
Right.
And that is a common mistake. You just nailed it on the head. If I got the story right, you met somebody and it didn't work with them, but it ended up working with their friends.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny, and I think I'd since told him this. while we were, and like I said, he wasn't single at the time. He was just a buddy. I was sitting there kind of talking to his friend I was supposed to be on the blind date with, and then I was talking to him more, and in my head I'm like, oh, I wish this guy was the one. He's cooler. But it was never, but he was not available, so it didn't even cross my mind. I'm like, oh, I made a new friend today, and I told him that at the end of the date. I said, look, I'm not into your friend at all, but you're cool. We'll be friends. And he's like, yeah. And that's,
oh my gosh. It's like you are the prime example of everything that I tell people to do.
Oh.
Not only
I wouldn't have believed it if it didn't happen to me, honestly, Charlie, because I would have, if someone told me this story that wasn't me, I would have been like, whatever. So it's cool.
I'm so glad that it happened to you because you just showed the perfect example of the ripple effect.
Yeah.
And you also showed, without even knowing it, the term that I tell everybody to put your big girl panties in your big boy panties.
I love that.
If you don't hit it off with somebody, just be honest with them. It's like, you know what? I'm glad we met, but.
Right.
And that person will end up respecting you so much more. In this day and age, I can't stand it when people aren't feeling it and they just walk away with no communication.
Oof, yeah, that's
some really bad karma.
Yeah, that's way harsh, Ty. I hate that. I've been on the other end of that.
I mean, when we have each other's emails, phone numbers, Twitter, yada yada yada, you can't just walk away from somebody and never have any communication with them again.
I know, yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah, it's not like back in the olden days where you're like, oh, I tried to call, but you didn't even have an answering machine. Yeah, you can get everyone instantly now, bad or good. It happens.
You can't get away with it anymore.
No.
And you shouldn't. You shouldn't even try. It's like, I'm trying to go back old school and live by some of the rules that my mother taught me. And, one of the main rules she taught me when I was growing up was do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
That's the truth.
And, you don't want somebody walking away from you and never having any communication with you again because you're leaving that person thinking, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
What's wrong with me? And that's the bad karma thing.
Exactly.
And especially since our worlds are so small now, you're going to run into that person.
Either virtually or physically. Or someone's got to know somebody.
Awkward.
Exactly. Not fun. Oh my gosh. So do you want to give us like a quick little background of how you got into this, especially for the people who don't know?
How did you come from our what was it? Was it Broome County too? Were we both Broome County boys?
I cannot believe that I just found out you're an upstate boy.
Actually it was Endwell, but it's easier to tell people it's Binghamton.
Yeah, that's what you just say.
I'm originally from a small town called Otsego, which is right outside of Oneonta.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's easier
and
to
everybody
say.
knows where Oneonta is.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard Oneonta. I've heard that mentioned, but I feel like I know the name,
But I've been here 24 years,
Excellent.
So it's like I'm a New Yorker now. I moved here when I was 18. Luckily, I found my husband when I was 20. We've been together 22 years.
I applaud that.
That's part of my success of my matchmaking is that I not only know how to help people find the right one, I know how to help them keep the right one.
That's the most important thing, and that's definitely something we wanted to touch on later because it's so awesome. You're like, I got a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And then it's like, now I gotta work at it too, which isn't a bad thing because
that's what I tell everybody that I work with. I am not finding you somebody that you're going to gallop off into the sunset with.
Yeah, you have to be realistic.
I'm finding you somebody that you're going to have to work at to have a relationship. People don't realize that a long-term relationship it takes work.
Of course.
I tell everybody that my relationship with my husband hasn't been wedded bliss for 22 years. We've even had some breakups in there. But, when you're committed to loving somebody, no matter if you want to kill them,
it happens.
I teach people how to live with somebody without killing them and going to jail,
Yeah. So I wanted to, a good point in your book was people fall in love with the relationship and not the, how do you, can you clarify again, how to tell the difference, especially knowing that you've been back and forth with Gary and stuff.
So does that mean, how do you tell the difference between it's just a relationship, like I love being in love, or I actually love this person?
Yeah.
Like that, right?
Yeah, that's nailing it on the head.
Okay.
What that boils down to is, when I meet with people and get them into my matchmaking databases, which, by the way, I don't know if I've told you guys, I have a gay male, a straight male,
That's awesome.
a straight female, and a lesbian.
I love that you do it all. So that's the coolest.
Yeah, and everybody deserves love. I look at it this way. If I've had to be married for 22 years, everybody has to be.
I understand.
But the whole thing about the relationship thing is that sometimes out of desperation, people will get into a relationship just to be in a relationship.
We've seen
and
it.
And that's not going to work. I mean, it might be a short-term thing, but in my experience, I've never seen that last long. What it boils down to is that, just like RuPaul says, how the hell are you going to love somebody else unless you love yourself?
Yes.
And what I teach people to do is to love themselves first, create a wonderful life, and then invite somebody into their life to share it with. When the people that come to me asking, oh my God, my life is so horrible, can you help me find someone so that I can find happiness?
Oh, you're like, no. Yeah, it's not going to be, you're not going to find happiness. You're probably going to find more horribleness.
That's loving a relationship more than loving the person. And that can blow up in your face because you might end up getting into a bad relationship. Because out of desperation.
Just to have anything, right?
You're right. Nobody else is going to come along, so I might as well take this one that, treats me poorly. And no. You gotta love yourself and love the other person. And then you can love the wonderful relationship that you build together. Right. But what I'm trying to say is that you just can't get into a relationship for the sake of having a relationship, because it's not going to find you the happiness that you're looking for.
Right.
And that all comes down to also, Wendy Williams has said it, and she goes, be your own best friend. And if you can't enjoy your own company, how are you going to enjoy anybody else's?
And how's someone going to enjoy you?
Exactly. It's like, I explain to people, and I'm honored because a lot of people that are reading this book are realizing that it's not just about finding love, it's about maintaining love, and it's really helping people create healthier relationships for themselves. And a lot of what I do with my work is, unlike some other matchmakers, that Patty the matchmaker, Patty Singer, the millionaire matchmaker.
Oh, I was going to bring that up too. Because can I just say, she's not in a relationship, right?
No, she is now. And she found them online.
To not interrupt, but this was something I was thinking about today when we were going to get to talk to you. I was like, I wanted to ask, because I watched the show once, and it seemed like she was just like to tell women they were too fat and they have to change, and I don't know, and she wasn't in a relationship either, and I was single at the time watching the show, and I was like, I can't get into this. And a friend had mentioned, what if maybe when I was single, what if I found something, what if I went to a matchmaker? And my point of reference was this woman who maybe I was thinking was being more dramatic for television. But I was like, if I'm just going to go to someone and they're going to tell me I'm too fat and it's not going to work or be nasty, and I was like, meh.
Well, I am the total opposite of millionaire matchmaker. I tell everybody that I'm the matchmaker for the everyday person.
That's what makes sense.
I literally do. I have all walks of life and all age groups in my books. And instead of ripping somebody down, I will help them repair their insecurities. If somebody comes to me with low self-esteem and poor body image, I will do my best to make them as dateable as possible and actually do some coaching with them and help them become happier with themselves, because that's what's going to that's what's going to help them get into and maintain a healthy relationship.
So you almost have to be a counselor in a way,
Yeah.
help them understand, like bring it out of them.
I tell everybody that I'm not a shrink.
Right.
And if they don't have one, they should get one, because I think everybody should have a therapist.
I agree with you too.
Because part
The
of
world would be a better place.
It sure would.
yeah, part of your whole package too is you offer not only consultations but image things like image and wardrobes
I
and
love
stuff like
that.
that. Yeah, reef.
But that's great.
You asked
Some
me a
people
few
need the
minutes
help.
ago, you asked me a few minutes ago how it all started, and
Yeah.
I'll give you the story. It happened so organically. It was 4 years ago when Obama was voted in the first time that there was the marriage equality march on the Capitol. And my husband and I went down there for the long weekend, and we used to produce Broadway and off-Broadway shows.
Oh, awesome.
And staying in the same hotel was one of our business associates who runs the Men Event, which is the biggest, gayest networking company, PR firm in New York City. He does first nights at Broadway shows, he does monthly social events, and he started doing gay speed dating events.
Okay.
And we're out to dinner every night, and he kept talking to us about the speed dating events. And I finally asked him, I was like, why are you telling an old married couple about speed dating? He's like, I want you to host it.
Oh, perfect.
I'm like, really? Why? He's like, because you're young, you're good looking, and you've been married forever, and everybody looks up to you for that reason. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. So I started hosting the event, loved it, and I built myself as an image consultant for the first few months because I wanted to help people be the best that they could be, and if that required a little makeover or a little help with their self-esteem, that's exactly what I was there for. And then I would introduce them to somebody, and I became so successful at it in just a few short weeks that they jokingly started calling me Charlie the Matchmaker. But I didn't. That's how organic the whole thing was.
It was just meant to be.
And this is back when Oprah was still on, and I was watching the show where she's literally talking about like Oprah aha moments, and like the light bulb went off over my head.
That's perfect.
And I'm like, maybe I should go with this Charlie the Matchmaker thing. And sure enough, I did. And here I am sitting here 4 years later with, a successful business that is helping both the gay and the straight community.
That's perfect.
And I've got a book out. There's a TV show possibly in the works. I mean, life is. I'm trying to set the example that I want everybody to follow, to find happiness in their lives and with themselves.
That's excellent.
So many people if you talk to anybody in my field, they will tell you that if you aren't happy with your life, and you aren't happy with your boyfriend, and you aren't happy with your love life, and you aren't happy with your job, and you aren't happy with your car, guess what the common denominator is in all those? You.
Yeah, you say that in the book, yeah.
That's great.
Everybody out there that's listening to us right now, I don't care how badly you feel about yourself right now, you have to realize that you are in control of your destiny. If you're not happy with something in your life, change it. And I know that can be frightening. I know that it can scare people. When I go... Oh, my husband just walked into the room. And
Hi!
Hi, Jerry.
Hi, welcome. He could come say hello too.
You can't interrupt me mid-thought.
That's cool,
but,
though.
everybody has to realize that you're in control of your own destiny. And yes, it's scary to make a jump, but I did it. I left a good-paying job to follow my dream in fulfilling my life and creating a company that I love. And I did it in the middle of a recession when everybody thought I was crazy. Yeah. So that's how organically that happened. And I still do that. I still, when I find people, will do little makeovers on them. I have an amazing hairstylist and makeup person,
Nice.
and I actually do the personal shopping for them. And I will actually take them to Macy's or Bloomingdale's or Saks, and we'll hit the sales racks and find them a new outfit. And
I love it.
I will make them into a shiny, brand new penny, and then help them meet people, because if somebody isn't happy with themselves, it doesn't matter how many introductions I make. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, because they won't project that out there, and that's what has to happen. Or even, I know in the past where I've just felt so bad about myself, that just meant like a door was shut. So how was I going to meet anyone anyways? This closed locked door of just self-loathing. So I had to just be open to anything, and that's what I told myself.
And that's why I say, no matter what it takes to make yourself happy, do it. It's like, if you have to switch jobs, do it. If you have to go out and buy yourself a new wardrobe, do it. It could be as simple as, the one thing that I tell everybody, and this is in the book also, is mirror, mirror on the wall.
Yeah.
Which ironically is the name of our next episode. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did.
We're both. I've gotten lipo, and she has the lap band. So we were going to talk about the honest truth behind plastic surgery,
and how you still have to work at it.
Yeah. So that's our next episode.
It's called Mirror, Mirror.
It's called Mirror, Mirror. After the Diana Ross song, actually.
Great minds, Charlie.
You don't even. It's not that you have to work at it. You have to love. You have to maybe not love, but you have to at least like the person that's looking back at you in the mirror.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes
it's
an issue.
Not all of us are perfect.
That's
I'm
true.
not saying that any of us have to walk out of our apartments like we're walking down, like we're a fashion model.
Right, we're going down the runway.
You've just got to put your best foot forward,
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, do I look like somebody that somebody would want to talk to?
That's a good point. Yep.
Am I making myself approachable, or am I putting on that big frumpy hat and big glasses to cover myself up from the
hiding?
world?
Yeah, because I've been telling my friends to dress the part.
That's
when we're out, no matter where we're going out, we have to dress the part. We're single. We have to dress the part. You never know, and we spoke about this in our first episode this season, is you never know who you're going to bump into or what situation you're going to be in, and nothing feels worse than being in a situation where you feel like crap, and
then here comes
people around you.
the person walking by, and you're like, no!
So at least dress the part. I've been trying to be cognizant of that too, at least.
Yeah, and I think that makes you feel better too. I know for me it always did. That's something my dad used to say was, if you don't feel good, just dress up and you'll probably feel a little better. Fake it a little until you're your head's like, oh, okay, I'm cool. Because it just helps you feel nice.
You guys just nailed it on the head, because it's not just dressing the part and looking the part that'll help you feel good. I get asked all the time, it's like, Charlie, how can you walk into a room like you own it? And I'm like, it's a conscious choice. Before I walk into a room, before I open that door, I say to myself, okay, self, you've got to walk in there like you own that room. And it's not being cocky, it's not being conceited, it's a self-love that just emanates to the people around you. And I see this a lot, because besides the personal one-on-one introductions that I make, I host a lot of events throughout the month, and when I see people that walk into an event and automatically try to become a wallflower, which I don't allow them to do.
No, I bet you don't.
And you talk to,
you guys are totally defeating the purpose for why you came out. It's like, you did not come out to this singles mingle so that you can stand on the outskirts looking in.
Yep.
People always ask, it's like, how do I become one of those people in the room having fun instead of outside looking in? I'm like, you have to make that conscious choice to do so. And I know it can be scary. There's some times that I am so out of my realm that I'm just like, you can do this. You can do this.
Right. You have to give yourself the pep talk sometimes in your head, you know?
Exactly.
Be your coach.
I usually have to give everybody pep talk.
Right.
And what they don't realize is that I sometimes have to give myself pep talks, you know?
Yeah.
And we all have to do that.
Yeah.
We all have to do that.
So how did the thing at Bartini go? Was it Sunday?
Oh,
was that one of your events?
Yeah.
My day singles mingles are the first Sunday of every month.
Okay.
Here in Manhattan on 10th Avenue and 45th Street at Bartini. And it has become such a hit that basically if you're gay, single, and interested in long-term relationships, I gotta throw that out there.
Yeah, because it's not Grindr.
Which I really like that about your service too, is that it's long-term focused.
Yeah, I tell everybody I am not a madam. I'm not a call boy service. I'm a matchmaker. I need to work with people that are seriously looking for long-term relationships, and that's why I created the singles mingle, because it's kind of like walking into a networking event. But so many times you can go to a networking event and be like, "Wow, he's cute. I wonder if he's single," kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You know that everybody in my party is single because that's why they're there. And it's not structured. All I do is slap a name tag on people so that if 75 people show up, can't trip over names and just say, "Oh, Alex, meet Chris." You know, I do. I work the room the entire night making introductions.
That's really cool.
And I love it. It's like I usually get about 60 eligible bachelors and bachelorettes. I always get a handful of lesbians too.
Nice.
And I'm very proud of it. It helps me maintain my database, because if I get 60 or 70 people there, I might only know 20 of them. And that's 40 new people that I can cultivate a month. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting up the same thing in the straight world. I'm May 1st. I'm my singles mixer. So in my mind, I have to keep it straight. It's like my gay events are singles mingles, and my straight events are singles mixers.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like how you say. I like how you say in your book. Okay, so I have a conflict because
let's work through this.
a lot of if you work with law of attraction and things like that and writing down your goals, I even got consulted Tuesday night about this to make a list of what I want out of a mate. But in Love Made Easy, you also say that sometimes you should just throw out your list and see what's out there, because it can all be based on chemistry. So how would you handle someone being told to make a list, then you telling me to throw out the list?
Okay. Let's see.
If you talk to a lot of matchmakers, we will tell you to throw that list out, or at least chop it down to a top 5 list.
Okay.
Because what that means is that if you're busy creating a list of the qualities of the perfect person in your mind, it's going to be more and more difficult for you to find somebody that fits that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then a lot of times when you create a list, you sometimes create a little screenplay in your mind.
Okay.
Not
always create screenplays in my mind.
He's a writer, so he does, but...
But then people make the mistake of I
like that.
Okay, here's my list of the perfect qualities that the perfect person's going to have. And then, without even knowing it, you create this little screen test, and this movie starts playing in your brain. And then the next thing you know, you start writing the lines that this perfect person is supposed to be saying. And I can't tell you how many times people will turn to me and be like, "Charlie, why aren't they doing and saying what they're supposed to do? And
Yep.
I'm like, what? No. I'm like, you've got to throw it all out, because every single person that you meet is going, you have to look at them as if they're a unique individual.
That's good.
You
Yep.
can't make your life into a cookie cutter, because you're not going to be able to find somebody that fits inside.
That's right.
I think a lot of gay men fall into that, though, because they're more interested in archetypes and seeing themselves in somebody else than they are giving a chance on what's inside. And I don't mean to sound bitter, sound bitter and jaded about that, but it really, because my thing is that I have a whole, you can't pinpoint. If you ever saw anybody I dated or went out on a date with, they're all over the map. And to me, it's more about chemistry and things like, there are physical features that I'm instantly attracted to, but I don't always pigeonhole myself into that. But the rest of the world sometimes does, which makes it a challenge.
Well, let me ask you personally, this list that you are working on, like, how many qualities do you have on it?
I don't know. I even thought about it, because after I talked to, she's another host on Authentic You. After I talked to her, I've been encouraged even over the years to do that,
right,
and list the qualities, not necessarily the physical, but like the emotional qualities and things like that, or what you want out of it, and all that. And I always draw a blank because I'm too afraid to like pigeonhole or just think about it sometimes. I don't cast my net, Charlie.
No.
I don't cast my net.
That's the thing, Charlie. Charlie, the matchmaker, who we're talking to right now. It's the getting my boy over here to cast the net just a little.
Not
But he
cast the
can.
nets, but
Cast the nets too. They're cool.
Possible.
Yes, like you said in the book, yeah.
Dating net possible is what you have to throw out. When people work with me, I tell them that I'm not going to have them put all of their eggs in the Charlie the Matchmaker basket. They can still do online dating if they want. I will help them with their profile. I will help them select the people. They can still meet friends of friends. They can hopefully still bump into somebody on the street and have that automatic connection. And then I'm there to help them with every single relationship, whether I introduce them or whether it happens in another way. Because unfortunately, that's what's wrong with so many people, is that they cast out this little itty-bitty dating net, and they don't meet anybody. And then they wonder why they're sitting home alone on a Saturday night. Oh, Alex, did I just strike a chord there?
No, I choose to.
He's super social.
You have to see me at gym bar sometimes after volleyball.
Run into him at gym bar, and he's like the mayor.
The life of the party. I'm the life of the party, but I don't allow myself to ever go home with somebody. And just as an aside, one of our mutual friends on Facebook, by the way, Charlie, is someone I went out on a date with.
Wait, one of your mutual friends of Charlie
Andrew.
and you?
Yeah, not that Andrew listens to this, but
that's funny. Yeah. There's the tiny gay world of New York City.
Yeah,
y'all know each other.
Oh, hello. This is the biggest small town on the face of the
earth. It is, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, especially when I've been here 24 years, so I can't go anywhere now without everybody being like,
I bet you know everyone too.
I'm like, hi.
I know. You even know the people you don't want to see. You're like, oops. But I had a question. I just wanted to know, since I never, and I like I said, I thought about it before, but doesn't have to be utilized in my life now. But this is definitely something that, especially everything you're talking about, I would love to offer, and I'm going to point in the direction, especially the friends who forget to listen to the show once in a while, and some of them
don't know how to use the internet.
Would love to, I think that would really help them. But I am curious, what are the steps you kind of go through once somebody contacts you? How do you matchmake?
Well, for starters, as anybody that's out there listening, or anybody that you want to refer to me, all they have to do is simply drop me an email at charlie@charliethematchmaker.com. That's how easy it is.
Or follow him on Twitter.
And I'm a one-man show. I answer my own email. I don't have assistants reading my emails. When they email me, I will respond to them.
That's great.
And the first thing that I do with new people that come my way is I tell them, let's meet up for lunch, a coffee, or a happy hour drink, whatever they're comfortable with, so that we can have a 1 hour free consultation.
That's great.
So that I can find out what they're all about and explain to them what I'm all about, and we can start on this journey together. And I don't do a tough sell. I will give them the list of my membership fees, which are very inexpensive, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell them, it's like, this is your homework. You just stick that in your bag, and you can call me in 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. I don't care. Just because I want the person to be comfortable with what they're doing.
Right.
And to be comfortable with me. And one of the reasons for my success is that I'm at a point now where I have hundreds of people in my databases, mm-hmm. and I have met with every single one of them personally. So this is a very personal one-on-one experience that people are getting when they work with me.
That's what makes it really, I feel like that's what makes it, something that can work. And not just,
because I tell people that I'm going to become their confidant in this journey. So it's like, and open and honest communication with me is the best way for it to happen. Mm-hmm. And then if they're not comfortable with having open and honest communication with the people that they're dating, I help them with that. And the first step that I do when I find two people that are right for one another is I will tell each other a couple things about one another. And the reason why I say a couple things is that even though I'm the common denominator in all of these relationships, I don't want to give it all away, because I don't want two people to get together and say, well, Charlie says and Charlie says and Charlie says, because that takes all the fun out of it. I still want there to be spark. I still want there to be mystery and intrigue. And so the first, I do not share photographs. I try to stay as far away from online dating as possible. Mm-hmm. So when I work with people, I'm basically putting together the qualities that they're looking for in somebody else and fitting them into a box. And my goal is to bring them possible dates that fit into that box. And I say that because I know for a fact that there's some matchmakers out there that just throw people together willy-nilly hoping that something happens. Right. And I don't do that. I really do my homework. For that reason, some of my clients only get like 1 or 2 introductions a month. Mm-hmm. I don't promise like dozens of introductions, because that's just too much. Yeah. And I will ask the two of them if I can introduce them via email. Because why do matchmakers set people up on blind dates? I think that that's the most horrific thing that you can do. It's scary. I mean, it's scary. And people can do that themselves by going online and going to an online dating site. Right, exactly. So what I do is I introduce the two via email, knowing that they both know who I am and I know who they are, so that the ball's in their court. They can take it as quickly as they or as slowly as they want. They can share photographs when they're comfortable. They can exchange phone numbers when they're comfortable. Mm-hmm. And then I'm there for feedback and advice every step of the way. It's like, as soon as the first email's done, they can get back to me. As soon as the first call's done, it's the first date, everything. I'm there every step of the way.
That's awesome. And that's great to know. And I definitely want to direct, it's going to be, I'm not going to be pushy, but there are definitely some people that I'm happily going to be like, check this out. It might be what you want. Right now on the line, if we want to say hi real quick, my dear boyfriend Ed is on the line. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Hello.
I can hear you, Ed.
Hi. I don't know if you're...
All right, hi, how you doing?
Hey. I don't know if you were...
I'm great, Ed. How are you?
Yes.
Hi, how's it going? Hi, Charlie, the matchmaker. It sounds like you have a really good thing, a good practice there going on.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I actually, one of the things you had mentioned before, when you guys were talking initially, was about someone just being like super ecstatic for a relationship to just be like in a relationship and to have that happen.
Mhm.
So that's something I think that a lot of people maybe tend to go through initially, and I definitely think would require a lot more of an in-depth communication, probably to kind of talk and to get through something like that. But I definitely would say that I definitely know a bunch of people that kind of go through that. They just want to be in a relationship. They just want something, and it's and that's not really, I guess, the way they should be going about it.
They should not. They should be
Right.
looking for a relationship that makes them happy instead of looking at something out of desperation.
Yeah, they're looking for the
Wow.
relationship to make them happy, like just that in itself of itself,
There's a lot of desperation out there, a lot of lack of self-confidence. There's definitely,
Okay.
I've seen.
And guess what? I want you to continue talking to the guys. I'm going to have to call right back from my other phone because this phone that I'm on is dying.
Oh no!
How crazy is this? I have something important to tell you, but I didn't want to cut you off. So chat with them for a second, and I'll call
Okay,
you back.
we'll be right back with Charlie the Matchmaker.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for calling. Okay, well, thanks.
All right.
Yeah, well, I know, honestly, and I know you and I, hun, probably know a few people who just want it so bad, and maybe they're losing sight of
That's
what it means to
a
be
big
in one.
concern.
Yeah.
So that really struck a chord with me, and and that's something that I definitely felt that way about certain people.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess, we just hope for the best that,
Also, I think this is really cool what this guy does, and I think you should probably get the word out, unless it's not really for heterosexuals and it's just for
Oh, no, it's for everybody. He does.
I don't know, but
Yeah,
I think it's a really cool thing, and I would definitely refer him to a bunch of people.
Yep.
I'm back.
Hi, yay, Charlie! He's back.
And are you still there?
Basically what I was saying is that you should definitely be referred to a bunch of people, because I definitely would have looked for, if you do deal with heterosexuals and all that as well, like what you were saying. I definitely would have been someone that would have looked into your services, because it's very, very difficult out there.
And something important. I want you guys to know that the reason why I've been able to grow my business successfully the last 4 years with this personal one-on-one service is that I have never spent a penny on advertising. Everything has been referral.
That's great.
So, and that's what I want to maintain right now. It's like, so anybody out there that's listening that wants help with this and if I have a bunch of referrals for you, I mean, does that, do I get some kind of a cutoff of that if it works for you?
Honey.
Do it. I actually know people out there that refer people to me, and I call them Charlie's Angels.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay, cool. I just want to let you know too that I'm a commercial printer and marketing and graphic artist as well. So, I might even be able to help you supplement some of your business if you're doing speed dating or you
I want you to email me at charliethematchmaker.com, and I'll get all of your information. And you can like me on Facebook at Charlie the Matchmaker, and I'll get your information that way too. And
that's awesome.
Yes.
We'll work together.
Okay, yeah, that sounds really good. Thanks for putting your information out there, because I'm watching with a bunch of people here at home right now, and they're like, "Oh, this sounds like a great guy," but like, who is he and what is it? So it's good that you keep reiterating.
Information
and all that other stuff.
Unfortunately, the way that Authentic UTV or the Ustream works is that we're not able to put up like words or scrolling. But if you're on our chat on Authentic U, then you could see all the stuff we're posting
on
Blog Talk Radio, where I'm posting his, Twitter and his email and call in. But unfortunately, Ustream doesn't have that. But someday. But it's all good.
if you want an insight into the kind of advice that I give out, just go to Amazon.com and get a copy of my book. It's Love Made Easy with Charlie the Matchmaker.
That's right.
And
awesome.
what that book is basically my life's work as far as the blogs that I've written for the last few years. For a year and a half, I wrote for a straight blog, and then for the last year and a half, I write for Gay Voices on Huffington Post.
Awesome.
So I took 40 of my top blogs, advice blogs, and compiled them into this book. And that's the book that you hear Alex referring to all the time. And it sounds like it's changed his life a little bit.
It has made him, yes. And we're going to get back to one more question. Honey, thank you. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for calling in.
Okay. Take care. Good talking to you all. Nice meeting you, Charlie.
Thank you, Ed.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
But yeah, and I think, and like Alex said, and this is really cool, you know, you have proof that it did like strike a chord with someone very recently.
Well, two of the best things you said, well, maybe three, because I've been in this situation.
Go ahead.
You talked about casting the net before.
Yes.
And not being so busy. You say get off the treadmill. I actually had to readjust. I've been one of those people who works too much, puts everything out, puts like volleyball in the gym first, and
like you let it kind of be in the way.
And also I was going to school. I actually had to withdraw from school because I'm working too many hours. So now I'm opening.
What it all boils down to is that, and it's another chapter in my book, is that you have to make love a priority.
Yep.
And I mean, we're all busy. We're all working to become successful. But what people don't realize in their 20s, 30s, and 40s is that if they don't make love a priority in their life while they're out there busy taking over the world, they could end up like some of my clients that are in their 50s and 60s and be like, oh no.
No, they're like, oh shoot, I forgot to meet someone.
Well, what's wrong with being a share?
Oh, she's had some boyfriends.
I did a great job of, you know, creating a wonderful life, but I have nobody to share it with.
Right.
And it's something that a lot of people are guilty of, and they don't even realize it. And Alex, I love what you just said about the gym and everything. It's like, I have a client that is so, he's so intent on maintaining his six-pack that I will try to introduce him to somebody, and he will put off meeting them for weeks because it interferes with his gym schedule.
Yeah,
I'm like, guess what, dude?
Yeah.
If you have a six-pack, does it really matter if you don't have somebody to rub them?
Yeah. There we go. Is he a little afraid, do you think? Do you think there's a little fear in there?
It's
like a smidge when you put things ahead?
It's just, you know, a lot of people get really self-absorbed in trying to make themselves the best person that they can be.
Right.
And that's a great quality to have, but don't let it consume your life. I mean, yes, we all want to be in the best health possible. We all want to be at the top of our field. That's great. Those are great qualities. But you can't let that consume your life. You've got to realize that I have to make love a priority, and I have to find time to have a relationship. And, you know, do it when even when you're at your busiest.
Yeah.
You have to realize, because guess what? When you get into a relationship, you're still going to have to make time for that person.
That's the thing.
Like you can get in, you know, it's not like you can get into a relationship and say, oh, I only have time to see you on Monday nights at 9 p.m.
Yeah, because that's not going to work. That relationship's going to be real quick.
Yeah, because you have to make
room.
You have to make the other person feel like they are a priority in your life.
Exactly.
If you're dating somebody and they're constantly feeling like they're coming in third place, they're not going to stick around too long.
No, you're right.
You know?
There's nothing better than someone making you feel like you're the only one in the room.
Exactly. No, that really is. It's really special.
I know it sounds simplistic, but that's what people have to do. They have to make love a priority.
Mm-hmm.
When they find the right person, they have to make sure that that person feels desired
Yep.
and feels like they're being made a priority. I tell everybody, if you're super busy, like, do something cute and romantic. Like, you know,
Yeah.
send them flowers if you're busy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if do something like you mentioned, stepping off the treadmill. It's like pop into their office and take them out for lunch one day.
Yeah.
You know, it's like just little things. It doesn't have to be. I'm not talking that you have to take 3 weeks off to
Right.
do an around the world trip.
Right.
You know, just little itty bitty things that you can squeeze into your. You know, give them a call in the middle of the day and say, "I was just thinking of you." You know? Like,
That gesture. The gesture that reminds them that they're being thought of and cared for, because that means so much. It does.
That's it.
And as we're wrapping up, 2 of the best things you said in your book were stop comparing everyone to the one that got away.
Oh, bam.
And don't talk about your exes
Thank you.
on a date. Because I've been
People
there.
have done that I know of that have done that on a date.
I've been stuck in a cabin in the middle of Connecticut
I
on
remember this.
Christmas with a guy who was texting,
This happened this year.
talking to me about, and Facebook IMing his ex, and we were in his ex's house.
And I remember you sent me a text, you're like, why am I here right now?
Yeah.
This happened to him this year, this boy. I can't. I felt so bad. I was like, he's like, I'm trapped in Connecticut, and this guy is doing this. That's crazy.
You want to talk about making somebody not feel important in your
Yeah.
life. I mean, that is like the cardinal sin. I set 2 people up. It was a straight couple about 6 months ago. And the first thing that he did, he called me up and he was just like, "Charlie, you nailed it on the head." She was just, she looked and acted just like
my ex.
Ah,
I remember
I said
that.
to him, I'm like, "Oh no, dude, you
Ugh.
didn't tell her this, did you?" And he's like, "I couldn't stop myself." He goes, "Everything she said and did." I was like, "Oh my God, that reminds me of her ex." I'm like, I automatically knew what I had to do. I had to get off the phone with him and I had to call her up and I'm like, "I am so sorry."
That's tough. Super tough.
All right, we're down to our...
She said he even called me her name.
Oh no! Then he just definitely needed more time with himself to get it right. We're coming to the end. Charlie, we loved having you on, and I honestly, I think Alex and I would just love to meet you for a drink sometime and like hang out and go shopping just for fun.
Do it.
Because that would be
I have
perfect.
credit. I have $20 in gift cards I have to burn.
Over the world, I'm doing a cabaret show.
Oh.
Yes.
Where and when?
And I'm the Laurie Beachman Theater on Wednesday, March 13th here in the city on 42nd and 9th.
Okay.
And everybody can find this information on my website, www.charliethematchmaker.com.
Awesome.
And I just booked the Tim McCloon Supper Club on the Asbury Park Boardwalk
Yep.
Ooh, I love
for Sunday,
Asbury.
April 21st.
Oh, that's the day after my birthday. Hey.
Yeah, we're going to come
Shut
down.
up. Are you April 20th?
I'm April 20th. I'm 420.
I'm April 20th.
Shut up! Oh my God!
No wonder we all got along.
Woo! The 3 of us are going out. That's all I'm saying.
All right, I see a party happening that week.
Oh, Charlie, that's fabulous. But seriously, the advice you've given and what you've said, and I honestly have a couple good friends in my head that I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm not trying to be pushy, you know, but I would love for them to meet someone. I'm just gonna be like, this is the guy you need to talk to. This is what's up, and hopefully they get into contact with you. But thank you so much for being on.
Make sure you get his book, Love Made
The
Easy.
book
I
is
put it
Love
right on my
Made Easy.
Kindle.
Get it on Amazon. You get it on your Kindle if you're all super high tech. CharlieTheMatchmaker.com. Follow him on Twitter.
See Matchmaker on Twitter.
Like him on Facebook. Charlie,
Like us on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook.
Lady and the Gent on Facebook.
Charlie, thank you so much. We definitely want to have you back, but we'd love to just like hang out anytime.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Bye bye. Have a great night. Oh my gosh.
You too,
That,
bye.
bye. That was perfect.
Yes.
I think we made a new friend today.
Yes.
And hopefully Charlie can be someone that can help anybody out there Make a new somebody.
Yes.
Make a new somebody special.
All right, next week we'll have Mirror Mirror. We're talking about lipo and lap bands and how they've affected our lives. Michelle, cue the music. Good night.
Good night, guys. Thank you.